Many of your friends and family may suffer from powerful diseases such as cancer, multiple sclerosis, or AIDS. What if I told you that these diseases could be treated or even cured with the powers of medicinal marijuana? The United States Drug Enforcement Administration classifies marijuana as a Schedule I controlled substance, meaning that the drug has no potential in the medical field and has a high potential to be abused. As a student studying pharmacy, I believe that the medical benefits far outweigh the negative aspects of the drug, and this is a topic that needs to be more researched by scientists, and they should have more open access to it. As a citizen as we all are citizens of Georgia, it is important to recognize that we have not yet established these programs in our state, and we should look into doing this in the future. I believe the United States should alter the Controlled Substance Act of 1970 in order to declassify marijuana as a Schedule I substance and lower it to a Schedule II or 5 in order to broaden the healthcare amenities represented by the entire U.S. population. So I think it's important to take a look at the history of marijuana and then take a look at the health benefits of marijuana, and then let's maybe find a solution to this national issue. So let's first take a look at how public opinion of marijuana has changed in U.S. history. So medical marijuana was first used as a treatment therapy in around 500 BC in China. And it was used throughout many centuries in many countries as a form of treatment. And in the late 19th century, or in the 19th century, according to History.com, many pharmacists and physicians were allowed to dispense marijuana as a form of drug therapy. They didn't really know the actual scientific benefits to it or the mechanisms it affects in the brain, but they knew that it treated some horrible symptoms such as diarrhea associated with cholera. According to the National Institute of Health, between 1850 and 1942, marijuana was in the United States Pharmacopedia, a reference guide to pharmacists for almost all drugs. So they could reference that book in order to prescribe marijuana and look at its known scientific benefits. According to History.com, recreational marijuana in the U.S. grew in the early 1900s from Mexican immigrants after the Mexican Revolution. Over time, this kind of took a turn on how marijuana was viewed in the public, and it led to the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937, which limited it placed a high tax on marijuana and limited its medical researches. President Richard Nixon, according to National Institutes of Health, issued a war on drugs in the early 1970s, which led to the establishment of the Controlled Substances Act. According to WebMD, since the Schedule I status of marijuana has not yet been repealed by the federal government, marijuana is compared to heroin or LSD with high abuse potential and, again, no medical uses. Medical and pharmaceutical industries have difficulty getting the proper materials of cannabis to study it and use it in research clinical research surveys. And also, after we take a look at these policies on marijuana, let's take a look at the actual health benefits. So marijuana has over 100 active known chemical compounds in it, and these compounds are known as cannabinoids, and they have a wide range of uses. And two of the most common ones are tetrahydrocannabinol and cannabidiol, THC and CBD respectively. THC is, according to drugabuse.com, a highly intoxicating compound that has the ability to reduce nausea, pain, and inflammation, as well as increase the appetite. CBD, on the other hand, is non-intoxicating and helps to treat pain, inflammation, seizures, and even addictions. Cannabinoids are known to alleviate the majority of significant side effects from cancer therapies and others, and that is why over 28 states, including Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C., have enacted some sort of medical marijuana program allowing for its use. So the federal government, according to the National Institute of Health, actually refuses to subsidize research for medical marijuana medications other than its national established programs. So now that we know a little bit more about the health benefits, let's take a look at what the federal government can do to unite the United States public policy on this subject. To broaden the healthcare amenities of all U.S. citizens, it should be very important to move medical marijuana or marijuana in general, from a Schedule 1 controlled substance to a Schedule 2 through 5 controlled substance. Unification of all 50 states on this reversal would provide the national legislature with short and long-term benefits for its patients and with various health conditions. The programs that are already established in legal states have been known to reduce the effects from opioid-related withdrawals by 25%, according to Healthcare in America. Patients in legal states with chronic and severe diseases such as multiple sclerosis and cancer, they have been known to have a higher quality of life and reduce pain. Lowering the class of marijuana would be able to provide government assistance programs and private insurers with the ability to reimburse their patients that may be paying out of pocket for marijuana and other drug therapies. According to the American Chemical Society, the University of Mississippi is the primary grower and the primary source for marijuana that is used by U.S. researchers to find new compounds and new drug therapies with the compounds in marijuana. The National Institute of Drug Abuse is the one responsible for funding this and has been criticized for the lack of funding that it does give to this program at Ole Miss. And the state of Mississippi's medical marijuana program only allows for low THC and CBD treatments for its current healthcare. And because of this, there is not a significant amount of marijuana and high enough quality to be researched by the people that attain their marijuana sources from the University of Mississippi. This leads to flaws in the health and research and the way it is developed in the lab following this. If a national standard was set on medical marijuana, then research could be open, and standards for research as well as developing new pharmaceuticals and looking at new solutions with medical marijuana would be possible. In conclusion, it is very difficult for U.S. populations to get medicinal marijuana therapies, especially if they're not in a legal state. This is going to be very difficult to do unless they go out of state. Many parts of the U.S. population would benefit from the removal of marijuana as a Schedule 1 controlled substance and lowered to abolish the Controlled Substances Act of 1970. I encourage you, as citizens of a well-informed healthcare system, to advocate for your friends and family that may not be able to receive this treatment, and hopefully they should be allowed to have this treatment in the future. Thank you.